Heads been in the clouds, oh I need some air. Order me another round, we gon' need this area clear. Toast to the ones that want it, toast to the right and wrongs. I am the guy that they wrote off, they was afraid of my solo. I gave them 40 right in there for 40, they labeled me, call me a show off. And I don't know what I did to them, sound like a solo problem. All I'ma say about it, where the hell my cup, now it's gone, know my name was on it. Around, yes, all about I would you in the night with me. That's right. You had me so long. That's not what's in me so long. Got me feeling better, I'm off the clock. Who got the juice? Don't know who knows. After this, I might not be solo, solo, solo.
Nos fuimos. Esta noche más te vas conmigo, aunque seamos amigos. Dale un poquito, dale más perreo, dale que esta noche tú te vas. Y por la parte de atrás, dale yo beba, tú te vas a fugar. No digas nada, dale más perreo, pide más jaqueo. En la discoteca tú sabes estamos muertos, pide par de trago, beba que yo lo pago. Conmigo pa' abajo, hasta con algarillo puesto con la mami. Esta noche mami nos vamos para la del party. No me importa, mira lo que diga tu papi. Esta noche te convierto en mi mami. Dale mami suelta, dale más conecta. Todas las choris se pusieron, mira paricera. Dale rastrilleja, duro y ya no para. Esa chula mira que me laza. Dale más, que tú quieres. Esta noche los weekends. Dale mira que nos vamos si te atreves. Retumba la bocina mami. Dale, pégate más perreo. Dale, mami, yo te agarro por el cuello. Llama a tu amiguita que esta noche nos vamos. Esta noche pa' abajo. Suena el boom, 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 que nos vamos. Dale, esta noche con los tragos. Alza toda la copa, mira yo vacilando. Ey, tu amiguita envidiando. Tengo el gombete, vamos al garete. No me importa, mira que nos vamos hasta las 7.
Everybody, welcome to the show. It is your boy Rico no Suave here on a 1-2-1-2, ready to go with each and every one of you guys. Oh wait, I am super happy to be back with each every. Oh man, I can't even get my words right. I'm so happy to be back with you guys today. And once again, everybody, thank you guys so much for all of your continued support. Cause man, it's been a week of missing all of you guys, us and the producers, the crew. We're so happy to be back to make sure we have another great time with each and every one of you guys here on the Rico No Suave show. Yes. All right, everybody. We got a fun-filled show for you guys today. Oh, man, I am super happy. We got a lot to talk about. We got a lot to go over, but you know what? We got to talk about one thing, and that's football. Let's bring that first one up. Oh, the Lions, the Detroit Lions, everybody. It was amazing to be able to see how the Lions actually came back from being one of those teams of, you're not so good, to being awesome. I'm a Bears fan all day till I die. But when I actually saw what the Lions actually did, and of course, when they gave over Montgomery over to the Lions, I was really hurt. But I understood that he needed to actually go and find a team to be able to progress with, but still being part of the North. It was hard to even watch him as well, too. But I have to say that the Lions have taken it to the next level. Let's go to the next slide. So on this one, everybody, these guys have grouped each other together. They put themselves together and they started making history. For the people and the fans of Detroit, what I have to say is Detroit has always been that underdog for a long time. And, being in the NFC North and being able to say, hey, who do we hate? We hate the Packers. Yes, we do. We do not like the Packers. But, of course, playing with, the Vikings and playing against Detroit, never had no beef against them, but we love playing against them, even though they were kind of the rivals, but it wasn't that big rivals. But being able to see how this team was able to grow big time was amazing. From Jamar Gibbs to St. Brown, to actually see my man David Montgomery, Laporta, and some of the guys that actually was really contributing. And Jared Goff, I know this gentleman here has been coming from the Rams, and he's actually came on over to the Detroit Lions, and to be able to see exactly how much he actually put a lot of effort to be able to put a name to himself. And that's what I really appreciate, how everybody just put themselves together and just made it happen. And now to the next slide itself, the man name is Mr. Campbell. This gentleman here, when he came and he said, and he's going to be biting knees or breaking knees, I thought he was freaking Italiano, but my man Dan Campbell, when everybody loves him, everybody just loves this man. And when I say that everybody loves him, they love what he put together as a team, and he helped build this team to be able to be a contender in the playoffs. When I saw them going to the playoffs, that's like, I'm not mad at them. I'm not mad at them at all, because you know what? I was rooting for Montgomery. I was rooting for Dan Campbell because I really wanted them to make it known, and to be able to see Eminem in the audience when they were playing against the 49ers, to be able to have that game to be 34-31 just tells exactly how well that this team was together as members of this team, to be able to grow together in a short time and be able to make a name for themselves. So I got to get my hands, I got to put my hands together for my man, Dan Campbell, and also for the Detroit Lions. Let's go. Yeah, baby. Yeah. So, I wanted to get that out of my system because it's football, man. It's football, and I love football. And did I just say that multiple times? Yes, I love football. And, I love people that actually are doing great things for their team and also just continuing to make it happen. Everybody, I got to put this trailer on because, I was able to see the show, right? This TV show and this episode, the series. And, we call them novellas, pero, in this case, this gentleman has came back and brought Pretty Ricky back like you wouldn't believe. So We're going to play this trailer, and then I have to introduce this gentleman. Everybody, this is the trailer for Sangre Negra.
I still don't understand how you would pick a guy like that over me, though. He's a made man. I'm not a made man.
Ricky is not who you think he is.
Ricky only cares about Ricky. Always has, always will.
What you got? I like that, man. I like this organization. I want to be part of it.
This is not all the time.
While running the streets, Ricky was heading up the juvie gang Los Diablitos, the Little Devils. His mom was black. The old man was Latino.
You know what?
Hey, let's stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Not kids anymore.
I thought he only had two sons, the lawyer and the cop.
I'm actually out here trying to find my brother Silky.
I haven't seen Silky in a while.
My brother was at a party that you were at a few days ago, so I'm gonna have to call you a liar.
What you see up here is a roadmap to organized crime in Southern California. Cenzo Sabatini. It seems like every crime committed in the West Coast leads back to this guy.
When the time comes, it will be me taking down my uncle.
Sangre Negra means black blood in Spanish. Who do we know that might fit that description?
And now that you know that he is, you must destroy him.
Meet my partner and benefactor, Miss Christina Sabatini.
You think Sabatini's onto us?
Only one way to find out. No, you tell Sabatini.
You just got hit
By the Sangre Negra gang.
Sangre Negra.
Sangre Negra? Sangre Negra. Black blood. Black blood. I like that.
Oh, yeah, baby. You know what? I love this show. I want to say I love the episodes, this novella. You know, this was such an awesome show itself. And what I have to say, everybody, I am super happy that this gentleman, the lead actor, he is a writer. He is the producer, of course, of Sangre Negra. Y también, mi gente. Now I got to speak in Spanish because my man, he put the black blood into perspective of being Pretty Ricky. I want you guys to put your hands together for none other than my man, Antonio Mckay. Let's go, baby. Let's go. How are you, sir?
Good, man. Good.
It's good to, man, it is good to see you, man. It is good to see you, Papa. Man, it's so good to see you.
I'm glad to hear you're a football fan. God, one question to ask you.
Yes, sir.
I'm going to ask you more football questions.
Yes, sir.
Are the Bears going to get rid of my boy Justin Fields, or are they going to keep him?
That's such an emotional question.
I know.
For me personally, I think they're going to keep Fields. I think they're going to keep him.
I'm hopeful.
I'm hoping
that's my
too.
guy, but
he's a dual threat. If they let him go, I will be hurt. I'll be hurt. I'll be so hurt. I think they're going to definitely. I think they're going to keep him as well.
Because if they do trade him, he'll ball out somewhere else. That's what I'm scared of.
I think the problem about if they let him go, and he succeed elsewhere, we're gonna have a problem.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
agree.
Yeah, we're gonna have a problem if he goes somewhere else and he succeeds there. It's gonna be very hard for us to be able to like. And we definitely don't. I don't want to watch a game where we might have to play against him.
Yeah, me too.
That would be
Okay,
that would just
got
be
that,
hard.
dude. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
But,
Hey,
sure.
it's about you today, man. It's about you, Antonio
Okay.
McKay. Welcome to the
All
show,
right.
man. Welcome to the Rico No Suave show, and we're gonna get right into it, man, because we got a lot to talk about.
Okay.
You ready to party? You ready to party or what?
All the time. All the time.
All right, cool. Let's talk about at the age level of the influence in you becoming an actor. What age were you at when you said, hey, you know what? I want to become an actor.
Oh, wow. That's an interesting question because honestly, I didn't know I wanted to become an actor until later on, till I got to like college. But when I was a kid, like 3 years old, I remember sitting on my mom's lap when she used to always watch. She was a big fan of her favorite actor was Errol Flynn.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know, way back, this historical stuff, 30s and 40s. Anyway, but she used to watch all his old movies, and she used to, every time it came on TV, I would watch them with him. But I didn't connect the fact that they were actors. I thought they were the real people. So I remember when I was little saying, I want to be a pirate. I want to be, I want to do that stuff. Okay?
Yeah.
I want to be Robin, I wanted to just have adventure and that's what I thought life would be. Then later on you get hit by reality and realize like, oh, wait a minute, that's just a movie. So when
I think when you hear about that, Antonio, and it kind of saddens you. It's like when kids really find out who Santa Claus is.
Yeah, exactly.
And finally, when you get into the level of, hey, are y'all really buying me gifts or is really Santa Claus who ate my cookies last night?
Exactly.
Right. So Antonio, tell us about, growing up in regards to, knowing that you wanted to become that actor. Was your parents a big influence in regards to that, or was it a specific actor that says, hey, I want to get into acting?
Oh, okay. Yeah, let me answer both those questions.
Sure.
One, no, they weren't.
Okay.
I was supposed to be a lawyer. I'm supposed to be an Esquire right now.
Okay. Okay.
That was their plan from my dad is a lawyer, or was a lawyer. And they had my path all set up for me. And I screwed it up because when I went to theater school, I just actually went there I took theater classes just to get an easy grade and to get close to some really pretty girls. That was my motive. And then later on, I found out, wow, I really like this stuff and I'm good at it. I was good. And when you find something you're good at, you just basically want to do that,
Right.
Even though it may not be the safest route, you pick that route because, that's the way to be. I want to enjoy my life. So,
right.
And the second question, any particular actor, interesting story again. So I guess my parents did kind of influence me because they're the ones who took me to these films when I was young and couldn't get in.
Yeah.
They took me to see this movie called Lady Sings the Blues. It was in the theater in Chicago. It was way back in the 70s. I was still I think it was 9 or something like that.
Okay.
Anyway, 9 or 10. And when I saw it, I was just mesmerized by the whole glamour of it. I had never seen, let's say, actors of color in a glamorous setting. I'd never seen them in a glamorous setting. Everybody was dressed nice. They were stars in the movie. And, Diana Ross was beautiful. And everything was just wow, big. And then Billy D. Williams came on. And I had never seen a black guy come across like that. And he just dominated. I said, that is Clark Gable. That is the guys that I always wanted to be like. But I never saw anybody who looked even close to me, in that realm. So I said, oh, wow. So it is possible, you know, because even the Latin actors, they were all, if you ever notice not just Hollywood, in Latin America and Spain,
Yep.
usually the Latin actors who are stars are all they're Caucasian actors. Very few
Yeah.
Afro-Latino
Right.
actors,
Uh-huh.
make it. So I had never seen anybody. So Billy D was actually the first person who came across with the way I wanted to come across if I became an actor. I wanted to be a movie star more than anything else. And
Yeah.
that sort of cemented. So you can see he's over my shoulder right now.
Yes,
He's
I see
my
that. I was about to ask you
inspiration.
about that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's my inspiration, man.
Yeah.
And it's him, Antonio Banderas, a couple other people,
Yeah.
but it's basically and then my dog decides to start an interview. Sorry. Anyway, yeah, so that's basically how I decided, okay, I'm going to do this. So let me go out to Hollywood and see what's up.
So when it came to you being able to get involved when you came to Hollywood, and of course, Billy D. Williams, Colt 45, every time I hear that's the only thing I can remember him by. But I know, of course, in other shows as well too. I know I think he played in Star Wars or Return of the Jedi. I think one of those as well too. Huh?
He played Lando Calrissian.
Yep. And looking at different types of actors that do come around, but he was always this smooth. And no matter if he tried to play an action guy, he was almost like that ladies' man, type of character, right? And he just had the smoothness about him that just made him look like that classy guy, right? And no matter what he did, he always had his hair slicked back.
Yeah. He had that smile and he had the pose, and he had that charisma that you can't teach.
Right.
One thing I learned about, you just can't. You either have it or you don't. And you see people all the time, not just actors. You see stars.
Yes. It's definitely a good influence to actually have, at during that time, because you can see the development of different actors during that time, and also how the movies actually were filmed during that time to where it's at, when you start hitting the 80s, the 90s, and the 2000s, right? And you start seeing a trend. Yeah. So when you start coming up and when you start going to Hollywood itself, what was it like as far as the training aspects of things, of getting better as an actor? Because I know it's all about scripts and writing and understanding the whole set. What was that experience like?
Well, the first thing I did when I knew a couple people who had moved here, and they put me onto like a couple of acting classes. One of them was Ivan Markota on the Van Mar Academy. He died a few years ago.
Okay.
But he was very influential. He taught different than other acting teachers. Other acting teachers teach you the traditional method, or, he taught stuff like cold reading, how to audition, how to take headshots, because back then you had to take headshots. How to walk into an office, how to carry yourself with confidence. It was a different kind of acting class. Because I had acting classes in Chicago at Columbia, but nothing like this. This was like taught you how to become a working actor, which I found way more helpful than any of the other classes I took. To be honest with you. Yeah.
Would you consider that as a trade? Would you consider that as more of, because I know there's probably different, acting schools, but there's also, you can also go to college to be able to, to learn as well too. Would you consider that as a trade when you go to like the real world experience of acting when you go to like certain schools like that versus if you went to college?
Yeah, you could almost do that as a trade school because, to be honest with you, acting is one of those professions that you don't need to have a college degree, obviously, to do.
Sure.
And you
Sure.
probably noticed. I had one, but I like, dude, if I knew this, I would have probably just jumped over that. But I liked it. I like college. I had a lot of fun. But other than that, yes, it's something that you could take these classes, but I do think you either have the skill or not. It's like a piano player or artist. You know, you can learn to play the piano, you can learn to paint,
Yeah.
but unless you have the talent, you can only go so far.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
You have to have the innate talent. You know, like I can't draw a lick, so I could learn it from here to Kingdom Come, and I'll never be an artist. You know.
Yeah.
But and it's the same thing with acting. Some people can just walk off the street and it's like bam. You know. Others can take classes and have interviews and it just they don't have it. They go in front of the camera and they freeze. I see it all the time. I'm like, wow, I thought this person would be good, but no, they freeze or you catch them acting.
Yeah. Well, that's, I think that's the beauty of it, right? Because you know exactly where your talent lies. You know exactly where you want to be able to go, and you know where you can't go. Like for me, you said drawing. Man, I only draw stick figures. You know what I mean? So, for me, it's kind of hard to, to get down and try to draw somebody's face. You ever seen the show, the movie, The Other Guys?
Yes, I saw it.
That was with Mark Wahlberg and Will Ferrell?
And Will Ferrell. No, you know what? I saw another one that had a similar name, but it's called The Nice Guys with Russell Crowe and Ryan Gosling.
Okay.
I know the one you're talking about. I've never seen The Other Guys, so I want to see it.
Okay, you got to watch the part when the guy is drawing. You got to watch that part. When you see it, you're going to see exactly what we're talking about in regards to being an artist. That's like me at the end. And when you see that, you're going to be like, yeah, that's us. Yeah. We can't do it.
Too. Yeah, I can't do it, man. I'm trying hard, but I can't do it. I can make a good triangle, though. I'm good at that. Right. That's about it.
Right. We can make some squares. Right. We can make some squares and some circles.
And maybe circles. Yeah. If I have a compass.
So Antonio, it's once again, man, it's good to have you on the show. But one of the things about you being an actor is, and we're going to talk about this a little bit later. But the one thing about acting and being able to find your style while you were training, but also you start getting into movies or start getting into other TV shows and start auditioning. Was there a certain style for yourself that you wanted to portray to say, hey, I am good at this? Or was it kind of universal of different types of acting that you wanted to get yourself involved in?
Okay. It's a good question. First thing you realize when you go to Hollywood is if you're an actor, you really have very little control of the roles you want. Especially if you're beginning as an actor, you're just so happy to get an audition. You audition for anything, anything your agent gets you. You're like, oh, right, good, I can do this. I can do this. Now, I did have a idea in my head of what I wanted to be and how I wanted to present myself. Unfortunately, the roles that I got when I was younger never really allowed me to do what I really was best at.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I played a lot of gang members and gang leaders and young folks. And the typical things that usually Black Latinos play
the stereotype.
When they're younger, Thank God that stereotype is starting to dissolve.
Right.
But it's still that when I was coming up there, that was it. That's what we did. And we were happy to do it because, it's work.
Right.
And then, but what I did manage to do was I managed to slip in a little bit of mischievousness and humor, even if I'm playing I remember I had to play a pimp. That for a stereotype. I had to play a pimp in this movie. But I read the script and and here's the secret: I knew the casting director, so I knew I had the job, so I wasn't worried about them not liking me.
Oh, that's good. That's nice.
So when I got the script, I said, okay, this is great. But every time it was written the typical, hey, motherfucking bitch, and all everything. And I said, let me see if I can switch it up a little bit. So I played him kind of like this guy was a real sophisticated kind of guy. When you first meet him, you're like charmed by him. You don't think of him, you don't feel danger from him. And then when it came time, you could just switch it like that.
Mm-hmm.
And that is what made it so powerful, because when I did turn the other side, the people weren't expecting it. So I didn't curse. I didn't, I called the women ladies. I didn't call them bitches. I changed a lot of stuff in the script.
Yeah.
And they let me go away with it, but it was successful. Everybody liked it. So
that's good, man. I like that. I like the way you flipped that. That was cool. Because you came into, hey, this is not what really, this is how the pimp should be, not what what you portrayed it to be. You should be this way where you're respectable, but not saying, being a pimp, you're just being a pimp, right? I mean, but, put it in a perspective of who you are as a classy man, it's with respect. And I think that's the key, with how you portrayed that. So what was the outcome of that?
I got an award. It was in Canada. I spent a lot of time. I spent like 5 years living in Canada.
Okay. And, wow.
I got an award for that role. ACTRA. ACTRA is the Association of Canadian Television and Radio Artists, which is kind of like SAG-AFTRA here. Mm-hmm. So it's their union, and they gave an award, and that was like pretty cool. Best performance, dramatic performance. It was a TV movie.
Nice.
Like Sparky the Pimp.
Sparky. That's what they call you.
Yeah, they call me Sparky. So,
that sounds like a hyper pimp. That sounds like a hyper pimp. You know what it is?
Yeah, just plug me in. I'll be there. So that was that. And and after that, I left Canada, came back to the United States. And it was kind of funny because when I first went to Hollywood, I was probably the luckiest. I thought it was just because I was so good. But actually, I realized I was super lucky because I went to Hollywood when right at the height of a certain look in Hollywood. There was a kind of a pretty boy look was really popular, not just with the Brad Pack and Rob Lowe and all those guys, but also the people like Philip Michael Thomas and Miami Vice. That was a popular look,
Miami Vice.
My good friend Stoney Jackson. Was at that time, and Prince, Michael Jackson. They were that look.
Yes.
So I had that look and the long hair. I had real long hair. So I got cast. Let's put him in this, put him in that, put him in that. So I got cast really quickly, fast. I thought, this is easy. Hollywood ain't nothing. I got cast in a movie, first movie I ever went out for, and I was like the lead. I was the lead. So it was like easy for me, I thought. So when I came back from Canada, I thought, okay, I'll just pick up where I left off. But things had changed. That look was no longer the in look. I would want the more rugged kind of Wesley Snipes kind of, hardcore guys coming in. My look was kind of faded out. And I didn't work, basically.
Wow.
So you go through that. I went through it. Usually people go through that first and then they get better. I went the opposite way. I got work, stop. No work. No work. Yeah.
Well, Antonio, all I have to say is, the transition phase, you knew it when you came back into it. And, you know, it was cool in regards because of that era and you knew exactly what was happening. And that was cool because you were able to fit into that phase and then come back and try and be that person. And then, you know, try to flip it to where you need to be comfortable to be able to get back into it. But man, I'm happy to have you on the show, man. We got to take a quick commercial break. And, you know, we need 2 hours with you. I tell you, man, because we just have a good time just talking about everything. But everybody, you already know it's my man, Antonio Mckay. He is the actor, producer, and writer, you know, and the lead actor on Sangre Negra, tu sabe, man, Black Blood. Hey, stay with me, my man. We're going to be back right after these commercial breaks. All right, everybody, here we go. Welcome back, everybody. You already know it's your boy Rico no Suave here on the 1212. Yes, and I got my man, where my man Antonio Mckay at? We got to bring him back on the screen because Antonio, how you having a good time, my man?
Oh yeah, that was an interesting commercial. I like that. All right, good for me. Woke me up.
Yeah.
Got real loud. I'm like, oh, okay.
I had to, you know, I had to bring in the cinematic stuff to you, you know, since we actually, you know, we talk about movies and shows, you know.
Impressive. I like
yes, sir. Thank you. So let's get to the next one, man. Let's get to the next one because, you know, people want to know. So people that's just joining in, thank you guys so much. You already know we have a man, the actor, the producer, and writer, Antonio Mckay. Mi pana, I call him mi pana now, you know, my buddy. So you guys already know Sangre Negra. We want to talk about also, tell the audience about how you got started as far as with some of the TV shows, the movies that you probably have been in. And then, of course, let's transition into Sangre Negra and tell us about your experience with the shows that you've been on.
Oh, okay, sure. Like I said, the first movie I did actually was a movie called The Perfect Model. And it was filmed in Chicago, which was great for me.
Nice.
Because I could stay at my parents' house.
Nice.
Because they didn't have a budget. Anyway, but it was done by, I don't know if you know him. Yeah, he's still on. Do you know Daryl Roberts?
No.
Have you heard that name? Daryl Roberts? Anyway, Daryl Roberts lives in Chicago. And he's quite a enterprising gentleman, and he decided he wanted to make a movie, and he knew somebody who knew me, and he contacted me and said, okay, I have a part in this movie that I'd like you to do. And I said, yeah, sure. I didn't even ask how much. That showed how dumb I was. Anyway.
Right. Yeah.
I said, hey, leaving the movie, great. But the good thing, what I liked about the movie was it was a throwback to that Motown, that era that I was talking, the late seasons of blues. It was very glamorous. It was a romance between me and this black girl from the South Side,
Yeah.
outside.
It's outside.
And it was kind of a Romeo and Juliet kind of thing, and it was a very cute movie. You know, you can scrounge around. It's on the internet. It's all over the place. But that was my first film, and the experience on that was good because, like I said, it I didn't have my ideas of how a movie was supposed to be run or how a movie set was supposed to be run or anything at that time. I just, okay, this is what it is. Okay. Later on, I got into I did real small part, but it's in Scary Movie. Remember Scary Movie with the Wayans?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
With
I
the
actually
Wayans
played
brothers.
Prince in there. I played Prince in there. In that movie.
Was that you?
That was me. Me and Carmen Electra and
Yeah.
yeah. So, but here's the thing. Okay, so for the perfect model, I made a grand total of maybe a little bit less than $20,000. I made SAG scale, and I was the star of the film. Okay.
Wow.
For that little part in Scary Movie, I made $12,000.
Wow.
I was only so that right away that shows you and then when I got there, they flew me to Vancouver, and they had I stayed in this really nice hotel, and they came and picked me up in a car. And I'm like, oh wow, this is the way it works. And that showed me, okay, there's a difference between the studio movie and the independent movie.
Yeah.
Okay. Studio movie, you get all this stuff. They got money coming up their yin yang. They don't worry about budget. Well, they do, but not like how independent has to worry about budget. So I got to see the two sides of filmmaking, right?
Yeah.
And I quickly realized that unless your first name is Tom and your last name is Cruise, very rarely are the big studios going to treat you like, you're the most important person in the film because you're a cog in a big machine. Yeah, they have a lot of money and you make good money, but you really don't have any control. If Tom Cruise wants something done, they do it.
Yeah.
If Antonio Mckay wants something done, they say, okay, talk to the AD, and then the AD would talk to the director, and the director would tell the AD no. The AD would come back and tell you no. That's basically how it goes in a studio film. When you're not at the top level, you're not Denzel, you're not Tom, you're not Brad, you're not those guys. That's what it is.
Okay.
So I told myself that if I don't make it to the very top of a studio movie, the studio system, I will never be the kind of actor I want to be. I never will be able to fulfill that thing of being like how Billy D was.
Yeah.
And ironically enough, if you look at those guys, even him, even Billy D himself, he was supposed to be like, at that time, I guess they had Robert Redford and Paul Newman. All those guys were the hot thing. He was supposed to be the Black Clark Gable, but he never got to do that because the studio system didn't have anywhere to put him at that time. They didn't think they thought he was too much. It's too much coming at these little white girls, and they don't want that. White America wasn't ready for that.
Right.
Ironically, George Lucas was the only one that had enough guts to put him in Star Wars. So luckily for that sort of broke him and made him legitimate. But even in Star Wars, if you never noticed, and he didn't get the girl. I always thought, well, he's way cooler than Han Solo. If I was Princess Leia, I would have gone for Lando. But she went for Han Solo. I'm like, wow. But that wasn't going to happen because, there's still a point. But I'll give Lucas credit for at least seeing that he wanted a romantic kind of scoundrel guy, and he picked Billy D, and that was perfect casting. So I'll give him credit for that.
Yeah.
But so to go back around, so that's when I decided that to prepare, I better start writing. So that's how the writing thing came up.
Okay.
And as far as the TV shows, look, I did all those, everything, What's Happening Now, Trapper John, Heaven, Highway to Heaven.
Highway to Heaven. Yeah.
Highway to Heaven, and what was the other
Wow.
So many of them. And then I was in Canada for a while, so I did a lot of Canadian TV shows. And Canadian TV is different than American television in that you don't get residuals. It's the only thing that's wrong with them. Maybe they do now. I don't know. I haven't been there for a while, but.
So what do you mean by, so when you actually did a movie out in Canada, when you talk about residuals, I mean, did you not get paid for it?
Okay. TV. Let's leave it at TV first.
Sure.
So TV, when you do a TV show in the United States, if it's a SAG after show, you do the show, you get paid. Okay.
Right.
The first time it comes on TV again, the second time, you get paid the exact same amount you got paid the first time. So you get 2 paychecks.
Nice.
This is very cool.
Yeah.
And then from then on, you get, every time that TV show or movie comes on TV or it's streaming or it's re-released into a theater or anything like that, you get money. You get residuals.
Okay.
Now it dwindles down. I got a residual the other day for 45 cents. But you continue getting it for the rest of your life. You know what I mean? Yeah. Now you know why we're on strike so long. But
wait, hold on. Did you, hey, Antonio, did you say 45 cents?
Yeah, 45 cents. Believe me, 45.
Why did they do that?
I've seen residuals for a penny. I'm like, what? The stamp to send it out, it costs way more, but they have to send it out. So what happens is they sell these TV shows or these movies to some little countries who don't have a lot of money, right? But they still want to see the show. So they may buy like Scary Movie, whereas you sell it here for millions, but over there they can only sell it for hundreds. You know what I mean?
I see.
But you still have to get some money.
Right.
So
right.
Usually when you see a pink envelope that says foreign, you realize, okay, this is not going to be a lot of money. When I get the white envelope, I'm happy because, okay, good. This will pay for it. But when I get the pink envelope, I say, this ain't going to be nothing. Can't buy a drink of gum. But anyway, in Canada, they pay you one time. That's it. And they can show it as many times as they want to. It's called a buyout.
Wow.
So they will pay you. So whereas if you did that same show in the United States, you maybe get $5,000. If you did it in Canada, you may make $8,000. But that's all you're going to make. And they can run it, and never see another dime. So you think it's nice when you first get the first check, but then you realize, I'm not getting another check. Whereas in the United States, when rerun season used to come around, you say, it comes in. Now, of course, it's different because it's streaming. So, it's a different setup. But
yeah, that's always interesting. I've always wondered how people get paid when it came down to when they actually have reruns, because, if you look at What's Happening or back in the days with the shows for Good Times, and you look at other shows like Brady Bunch and things like that. And I wondered, man, how do they actually still get paid? Are they still getting those residuals coming in? And I'm assuming that they do,
Yeah, they do. Another guy who's on Sangre Negra is Todd Bridges. Todd Bridges played Willis.
Different Strokes.
Times, right? Different Strokes, right? Man, sorry.
Yes.
Different Strokes. He still gets nice residuals.
Nice.
That show was on for 10 years or something?
Man, a long time. What you talking about, Willis?
Right. Yeah, exactly. You don't like that, but yeah. But yeah, exactly. And he still gets money. So, it's not as much, obviously, as what he was making back then as before. And, of course, inflation is taking down even more. But it's still at least good to know that you can wake up in the morning and go downstairs and
I got a check in the mail.
Yeah.
Right. That's a beautiful thing.
If you're a regular on a TV series,
if
you have a regular on a TV series and it runs for over 5 years, you're pretty much set for life if you're smart with your money. You don't really have to work if you're smart with your money.
I think that is so cool, man. I mean, when you work so hard, and also, you know, it does take a lot of time to be able to produce those as well. And, you know, when you do have those reruns, you know, that's awesome. You know, Antonio, we got to take another commercial break, my man. Hey, you know, I want you to sit back and want you to enjoy this one because, you know, the Rico No Suave show is part of NASCAR. So, and, you know, if you like race car driving, man, you're going to definitely love this. All right, everybody, you already know it's my man, Antonio Mckay, the actor, the producer, and the writer, Sangre Negra, Suave, Black Blood, everybody. But now it's time for NASCAR moments. Yes, NASCAR moments, baby. Yes, NASCAR moments. It's all about making sure you get your personalities ready and also get your engines ready, because I think you guys are going to get ready for this moment itself, because Netflix has came out with a show and it's called Full Speed. And of course, on this moment here, everybody, I want you guys to get revved up on this one because it's about to go down. Let's roll this. Let's go.
Playoff berths are on the line. When I feel like a wreck is about to happen, I get out of the hornet's nest.
Then he's had enough. He's very proud of his spidey sense.
Clock's ticking, running out of time. There's no school to go to. There's no handbook and no certain path for how to be a NASCAR driver.
Don't think, don't fear, don't stop. These guys start at 5 years old, working on the cars with their dads.
No, there's no time to waste.
I'd be your favorite driver.
Go into the playoffs, you know the intensity's higher.
10 races, 16 drivers. Best man wins.
Be safe, I'm proud of you. And remember, be Ryan fucking Blaney.
We're always looking for an edge.
This forces your brain to have to work faster. Aaron felt like I needed something to get my mind off of racing, but I took it to a new level. It's kind of like driving. Once I get in a rhythm with it, it just slows pretty naturally.
No, there's no time to waste. One stumble, one mistake, your season's done. If you find another gear.
If anyone tells you that there's no pressure, they're lying to you.
I'm sick and tired of it.
Oh, wow!
The playoffs are nuts. Praying to God to keep him safe.
In the playoffs, anything could happen.
Let's all watch and see. Clock's ticking, running out of time.
Hello.
He still plays Mario Kart.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's how I get ready.
Yeah.
This is Super Mario.
And yes, everybody, yes, that was NASCAR Moments. Yes, and thank you guys so much for tuning in for NASCAR Moments, everybody. That was another great segment, and I really loved it. So make sure you continue to tune in with your boy, Rico No Suave. Thank you, NASCAR. All right, let's get back to my man, Antonio Mckay. Hey, Antonio, did you like that or what?
NASCAR. Yeah, I love it. I saw that. I was watching it on Netflix, actually.
Yeah,
I liked it because we have NASCAR in the show, and some of the episodes coming up. That blonde girl you saw walking with, she's a NASCAR driver in the show. So
nice.
See what
oh man, that's hot, bro. I like that. Oh, that's cool. Yeah. Oh man, then this is right on time. Then
I like that. So,
what's that?
Yeah, I said that's very clever how you arranged that.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Hey, you know, it's just another NASCAR moment that I love here, man. And thanks so much to NASCAR for actually having us, you know, to be part of the media, man. But hey, you know, we're down to our last few minutes of fame around here, Antonio. The day, hey, it goes by fast, man, and there's nothing else we can do about it because time is on our side. That's all it is, baby.
There you go. There you go.
Hey, Sangre Negra. Let's get it on. What made you come up with this series, right? I want to know the ins and out in regards to how did it come apart? I mean, how did it come into play? And as far as who's in it, right? Tell us the details.
Okay, well, making a long story as short as I possibly can. My partner and I, Frank Pinnock, who was the director of the series, so I'll give him a shout out.
Yes.
He and I were trying to raise money for a movie we were going to do called Forbidden. And we've gone through every, the usual finding money and all that stuff. And then we were just about to make this deal. And at the last minute, the guy pulled out. So then we were stuck with like, okay, what are we going to do now? So we just, at that time, we just said, screw it. Let's just shoot anything. Just got to shoot something. So we decided to shoot a web series. And it took me about half hour to write like 10 minutes of a nice little opening for a web series, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we were about to go film it, and then I said, but it had to have a father. It had to have a dad in there. And I was like, I don't want my dad to be these old, crotchety guys with beer and a beer gut. And I want somebody who still looks like he's got some juice,
Right.
And I just didn't know any actor like that, And my friend of mine from Chicago suggested that, why don't you guys get Eric Estrada? Like I said, yeah, right, Eric Estrada. They don't have any money, dude. But how we gonna get Eric Estrada? But then we said, you know what? What the hell? Let's just try. Let's go search. Maybe we can make some kind of deal. I found his number. Actually, I found his agent's number, who hit me up to his manager, and we called his manager. We told him the idea, and surprisingly enough, he said, "Oh, Eric might be interested in doing that, but it's going to cost you." I said, "Oh, shit, okay. How much is it going to cost?" And they said, they gave us a number. I said, "Oh, well, that's not as bad as I thought." Okay. So basically, once we got Eric Estrada aboard, we said, well, now we need to make this more than just a web series. We got to film it, to go all the way. And that basically started the ball rolling, We started with believe it or not, $11,000. That was it. That's all we had, $11,000. Wow. And we started shooting. And we got the first few scenes with Eric out the way.
Yeah.
Then what do we do now? We don't have any more money. So we had to go search for more money. And we got more money. Somebody gave us 20, somebody gave us 10, or somebody, and that's how it is. It was a lot of people giving us small amounts of money. And
that's love.
Fast forward years later, we had come up with like $2.5, almost $3 million.
Wow.
All from this hard work. And that's why, so the series took long to produce, but that was one of the reasons why we were getting it little by little. But we did want to have a certain pedigree, we wanted to have a certain high production value. And we knew that if we're going to compete, because one thing me and my partner always agreed on is that if we do something, it can't look like crap. It can't look cheap, even if it's made with little money. It's got to look as good as the stuff that I turn on TV and see, because one thing I know as an audience member, when you go to the movies or you turn on the TV or something like that, you don't care how much money the producers have. Okay? You're used to seeing, when you see something like, give me a good, I can't even think of a good TV show right now. Anyway, a highly produced show like Miami Vice, okay, way back in the day, or even Law and Order and all those. You see how there's a production
like Chicago
value.
PD.
Chicago PD.
Yeah.
There's a production value that's there.
Right.
Even though they're doing gritty stuff, you can still see that there's a sheen to it. There's a professionalism. The cuts are right. The color chord, everything is done a certain way.
Yeah.
Most independent movies or TV shows, they don't have any money, so you can see the difference right away. You can tell that, okay, they didn't have this is cheap, this looks crazy. I can't hear. Sound is very, very important.
Right.
One of the biggest bugaboos in independent filmmaking is sound. That's the one thing, for some reason, they always screw up on. But so we would rather take our time and get it right than just throw it out there. And, so that's basically what happened. And then one thing led to another. We made it. We were going to sell it, but this a lot of the ins and outs of Hollywood. You realize if you sell something, it's great, but you lose all control pretty much if you're selling it to a big studio. You know?
Yeah, I think when I hear about stuff like that, I look at it as, you're building it kind of like what Power did. Power, of course, they had phenomenal as far as with the production and things like that. But you kind of look at it as who's going to pick it up. If you have someone that will pick it up, then you got more investors to be able to invest in the show to be able to make it even bigger, right? And I kind of looked at the way when you had the 4-episode series of Sangre Negra. Then you're coming out, of course. So is there more? Is there more episodes you have coming out?
We have 4 more that have already been filmed. They've been shot. Me and
Okay.
Richard Rico's in that one. Nikki Lee, Eric Roberts again, Eric Estrada.
Yeah.
Todd Bridges, Stoney Jackson, and I got a lot of them. There'd be more. Glenn Plummer. Countless actors who you'll recognize, that were kind enough to either through relationships or because they, liked the script and liked what they had to do.
Yeah.
They're in the show. And because of that, the show's got a pretty good buzz.
Yeah.
And everybody who's seen it likes it. They're always shocked that we didn't have a big studio behind us because it looks like a studio's show. If you see it for ourselves.
But you do have, man, you definitely have some great scenes. I don't want to spoil it for the audience itself, but they need to go and check it out on Prime Video. Make sure you guys go and check it out on Prime because I watched it on Prime and I was it was super cool to see Pretty Ricky as you, playing who you play in regards to that. But the audience, you guys need to go and check this out, period. You got to go and check this out because you're going to definitely love it as well, too. My man, like I said, we need another hour just to be able to go over everything. But I got something for you. Okay. Let me break this up.
Swag for me?
It's this.
Oh, I know it's swag. I love swag, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Oh,
you got a lot of a lot of coolness to you. So this is a Rico No Suave show shirt. This is for you, my man.
Nice. Thank you.
All I can say is, you know why I'm happy to give this to you because not only are you here on the show, but I was able to watch your series and know that you're here on my show.
Oh, cool.
So
I'm glad to be there.
Man, I'm so happy that you actually came on my show as well, too. And a lot of things that you have done as far as overtime with meeting some really great people and also from your acting career, as well as, taking that trip over into, into LA. Sometimes people take that risk, but it's good that you knew some people to be able to help you with your career as well, too. And always keeping that the Sparky Pimp. The Sparky Pimp is always going to be in my head now whenever I think about it. So. But this right here, man, I want to say congratulations, man. Congratulations to everything that you have done. And welcome to the family, man. Welcome to the family. Let's go.
Thank you very much. And congratulations to you, too.
Thank you, man.
This is a great show.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Hey, I want to thank you so much for being on the show, but we're going to put up your social media real quick so you can, people can get in contact with you. Let's pull up that first one. It's Antonio Mckay on Facebook, everybody. Make sure you please go and check him out. Make sure you go and like and love everything that he's actually doing. Man, the guy is awesome. Let's go to that next one. We do have the Instagram as well, too. Antonio Mckay Official. So make sure you go ahead and check him out. Follow him, and then you'll be able to see his IMDb. Always, man, give him if you want him to be an actor, just make sure you give him a lot of money. That's all I gotta say. Give my man a lot of money because he's doing big things there, man. He's doing big things. So, Antonio, man, thank you so much for being on the show, man. I had such a great time with you here on the show with me on the Rico No Suave show, and many blessings to you, man. We buddies now, so I got your number, so we good.
All right, cool. Call me anytime.
All right.
I'd love to come back on.
Yes,
when
sir.
the other 4 come out. All right.
Say it again.
So when the next 4 come out, you should have me on the show again.
Let's do it.
I'd love to talk.
Let's do it. Definitely. All right, my man.
right.
You take care of yourself. We'll see you soon.
Okay.
Thank you. That's Antonio Mckay, everybody. Yes. All right, everybody. Oh, hey. Yeah, I had such a great time here on the show with each and every one of you guys. Thank you guys so much for being on the show. I had a blast today, everybody. Nothing but positive vibes from my man Antonio Mckay. You know, Sangre Negra, tu sabes, man, for the crew and everybody. We got to put up our social media, everyone, before we get out of here. You already know, the RicoNoSuaveShow.com. Make sure you go there and check out our archives, check out our newest videos, and just browse. Just go ahead and browse. We're making it happen, everybody. We're making it happen. All right, here's our next one. Boom. You already know, at Rico No Suave Show, everybody. That is where we're at on Instagram. So please make sure you go to Instagram. Make sure you go and follow us there. Make sure you have a great time and see all of the content we have there as well, too. Here's our next one. You know, Facebook, you know how it is. Facebook be, wanting us to go and then say, come back home. And that's what we did. We came back. So make sure you like and love everything there on Facebook. Oh, yeah. You already know. Subscribe to the channel, everybody. Subscribe to the channel. Rico No Suave Show. Please go ahead and subscribe. Make sure you subscribe. Please go right ahead. We got videos. We got archives. And then last but not least, Mixcloud.com/Rico No Suave Show, everybody. Please make sure you go ahead and follow us there. If you like the audio piece, please go ahead and follow us at Mixcloud.com/Rico No Suave Show. Everybody, I had such a great time with each and every one of you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed yourself as well, too. And of course, keep being positive. Keep staying good to your neighbors and everybody. Until next time, we end off the show just like this.
Over.